Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Laura Skinner, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind successful startups, the challenges faced along the way, and of course, the strategies driving their future expansion. Today, we're excited to have Joe Mindak, the CEO of Nolodex, joining us. Joe will be sharing more about his founding story and giving us a glimpse into his plans for future growth. So let's jump right in, Joe, and welcome to Founders Future.
Yeah, thanks for having me today. I appreciate it, Laura.
Love
Excited
it.
to chat.
Awesome. So take us back to the beginning. What inspired you to start the company and tell us a little bit more about what you solve within the marketplace?
It wasn't something I was actively looking at. I've started several companies. This is actually my
Oh,
seventh.
awesome.
So this is my seventh company, some good, some bad. So it's kind of like when there's a need there, like most companies start, you see a need and you fill it. So I had sold my marketing agency and people kept calling me for marketing services up until a year later. And I was like, I don't build websites anymore. I don't do SEO. I don't do any of that. But you know what? I'm a great connector. I always love connecting people. So I connect you to somebody that could take care of it for you. And
Love it.
after a few times of just giving great referrals to agencies that I knew, and they were making $100,000 on a project, I reached out to them and said, "Hey, listen, I just gave you Laura as a client. How about I bring you another client and you pay me a commission?"
Nice.
Because all of us, a lot of people like myself, are just great connectors, been doing this for a long time, been giving
Completely.
out referrals, and you give me a referral, I'll give you one back. But after 51 years old, I've been doing this for a long time. I've given out millions of dollars in deals. And it's, hey, listen, I still like doing that, but how about I make a couple bucks on it? Because
Of
I was
course.
building other companies at the time. So I got about a dozen agencies that were love building websites, love doing logos, love doing all the work, but hated doing sales, which a lot of companies do, right? They like what they do, but sales is a component that not everyone likes. So I acted as a salesperson for them for a year for free, and basically said, pay me a commission if you get a deal. And I brought in about $85,000 in commission. If you think about that, 10% average, it's almost $1 million in deals. I brought it to the table for these people for basically free. They only paid me if they got a deal. So that's when the light bulb went off. And I was like, wait a second, there's other people like me out there that have just been giving referrals out. And that's
So
the main way people are getting business forever, really. It's all about who you know. Who do you know? Who could you introduce me to? That's sales 101 from the start of sales, but people aren't getting those referrals back, and people have given out millions of dollars of business like myself. I should get a little something for it.
of course.
So that's how it started. And I brought about 20 other companies together the next year and said, listen, I made about $85,000 in commissions last year. How about we all help each other and we all pay each other commissions and put it together? That's how it started. Then I just built the model out over the next year or two. Like, how do we pay? How much do we pay each other? Who gets what? How do we track this stuff? And then just it kept snowballing into 20 people turned into 40 people, turned into 80 people, turned into now 400 people that all love to give referrals out, but also get paid. And now everyone is incentivized. So it really changes the paradigm of how does networking work? Why not pay each other for these introductions? And it makes it a lot more sticky because people are like, yes, I'm going to follow up, Laura, with the introduction I gave you because I can make money off of that. I can make a little side hustle. And when you're referring me, you want to make sure that I get that deal done. So it helps me get the deal done because you're going to get paid on it too. So your client, your college roommate, your cousin, your old coworker, you know them very well. You want to stick and make sure I'm getting that deal done because you're going to get a commission on that too. So it really changes the way networking has been done.
Wow. So do you have a platform just for our listeners? Where is this hosted?
So that's how Nolodex was born, right? A lot of great companies are born out of necessity. So the Connective was just born, which is this beta group, this idea I had. And as we grew into 100, 200 people, I said, wait a second, my Excel file is not going to track these deals anymore. I can't see who Laura sent to Chris, Chris sent to Jason, Jason sent to Lucy, like
I
all the
love that.
deals going on, how much commission is paid, all that. So we built an MVP, minimum viable product, to start tracking that. And then my partner and I, Adrian, said, listen, we got to build something bigger, right? This has to track the deals, all the referrals amongst all 400 different people all over the country. And we have people over in the UK where you are, we have people in Canada, Croatia. How do we track all this stuff? So Nolodex, your networking Rolodex, which is what Nolodex stands for, is the software we've built to manage all of that, right? Because there's 400 people be giving deals amongst each other, different commissions, people get paid out different things. The system tracks it all and automatically pays everyone out. So if a dollar comes in commission, it could split that dollar up 5 different ways and pay who's in on the deal. We have people that run different chapters of our beta group and all that. And then Nolodex was built to now sell it as a SaaS model. So other networking groups, right? There's just hundreds, thousands of networking groups all over the place, all over your BNIs of the world, your alumni associations, your networking groups that are already out there doing this, giving each other referrals. But those people that are running those groups are missing out on a ton of money. Their members are missing out on commissions, and the groups that are running those groups, all they charge is membership, right? So maybe they get $100 a month for membership. Why not take part of that $5,000 commission that Laura brought in, right? On the deal, they can split it with your member. Give your member 2,500 and you make 2,500. So now the members of these groups can make extra money. That keeps them in the group, right? That retains them. I'm going to stick with it. I'll keep paying you $100 a month if I'm being able to make some side money on giving referrals, and also incentivizing the other members to get better referrals for you. And then the owner of the group gets a cut of the deal. They decide how much they want to make, how much they want to split that dollar. They could split it 50-50, 60-40, whatever they want. So now we're launching in October 15th. We're officially final testing to get this out and start onboarding other organizations. So we already have about 50 companies and networking groups that are already like, I want this. This changes the game for my networking group. So yeah, so we're excited about it. Now we're going to start pushing it out to let other groups know, right? We're not in any sort of competition with other networking groups. We're like, this is something that all groups can use. So yeah, we're excited about it.
I love the concept because I've been in sales my whole career, and me and my peers have always had this conversation where we're like, would you trade the base salary for just a higher commission? Because if you're confident with what you can close and say that you've got a company that will give you, not industry standard, say it's 10 to 12, but say you can get like 15 to 18, and you're doing these bigger sales, would you just say goodbye to your base, that's your security? And so many of my friends would, because they've proven that they can sell and the money in it's just so much better.
Yeah. And now you get a chance to not. So for me, for someone like me that's a salesman like yourself and your other friends, you're salivating at the chance to sell 400 other companies right now. Now,
Literally.
when I had my marketing agency, all I could sell is websites and went around that. Hey, Laura, do you need a new website? No, we just built ours. Do you need some SEO? No, we already contracted. Like, all right, I got nothing else to sell. Now it's Joe, I do need video. Oh, cool. Let me introduce you to these people and I'm still going to make money. So you
Yeah.
never really almost lose a sale because there's something everyone needs at the time. You might know the CEO of a company that's, I don't need a website, I don't need any marketing, but I'm looking for a new IT company. Our IT company sucks. We're trying to find somebody new that can.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. Let me introduce you to these guys. And then
So cool.
you get a cut of that deal. So if you're a true salesman and love to connect and love to do, you could make a fortune. Again, I made $85,000 sitting around, like just making some.
Without, yeah.
It probably
So
took me 40 hours that whole year to do that.
insane.
Yeah.
So the ROI on time is just outrageous, right? That's just
Right. Yeah.
ridiculous. But say, so you've obviously built this product as a SaaS play, et cetera, et cetera. You've got so many people interested. Do you even need, and this is, I can't believe I'm even asking this question, but do you even need a go-to-market strategy in the sense of acquiring new clients, or is this literally just all referrals and it's just going to keep going?
Well, the beauty is that we built 400 members of our current group that are already referring business to us, and they're incentivized. If they bring in a group, they get a commission for bringing in another networking.
Yeah, so it's
So
just,
everything we do is incentivized. So not only do we have these people incentivized to bring business to each other, now if you bring options for groups, because everyone, if you're in a networking group, you're usually in 2 or 3 anyway. So they're bringing their other groups in and saying, hey, I'll bring them in, and then they get a commission on bringing the groups in. And then when your group, say you have a group in London and you join, right, Laura's networking group, and then you refer another group, you could get a commission for bringing your friend's group in, and then that person can give it. Like, it's all referral based and incentivized, and the system tracks it all. Yeah, listen, do we have a go-to-market strategy? Of course, right? We don't. We're hoping that, look, we're hoping word of mouth will get this thing out all over the place. So when we have 50 companies already saying, I want in, and we didn't
yeah.
sell to any of them. These were referrals to us saying, I love this system. I have a group I think would want to use this. We say, oh, by the way, yes, we are selling now. So before we even mentioned that we were selling Nolodex as that platform, our members were saying, I got another group. You guys should sell this to somebody else. Well, that was part of the plan, but we just haven't, we had to finish all the dev work that we needed to do before we could do that. But it's
I
ready to.
love that. So, for our listeners, because this is quite a unique scenario, typically when we're on these podcasts, there's areas of concern when it comes to go-to-market strategy. So this is awesome, like congratulations, but do you foresee any challenges within like sales and marketing efforts, or do you think based on the traction that you've had so far, you're just expecting it to grow?
Listen, you always think your baby's going to just fly off the shelf, right? But I've been in sales, again, I'm 51. I've been in sales for 30 years now. I was telling my partner that this has been, I don't want to say the easiest sale, but this has been the most excited I've ever seen anyone get off a call with me, because I get on and tell them what this is doing, and they're like, wait, really? What did you
I
build?
know.
You see this? And I take them to a demo, and they're like, wow, I was on with a guy last week that's been in software sales his whole life. This is really clean. I've been selling software, sold a lot of crappy software. This is really clean, really impressive, very well done. Because we got the best people to build it, right? We went onshore, a company called Studio Labs that's built, that architected the PayPal app. They built all of Elizabeth Arden's app. Like, we wanted to build this thing the right way and not put it out until we were finished and make sure it was going to be perfect. So we're talking to people, and the validation in the market is saying, this is awesome. We have one group that they've been around for over 30 years, a networking group, and thinking about retiring, a husband and wife team, and like, wait a second, I don't have to retire. I could just put everyone on your platform and that'll run it for me. And all our people that run our different chapters of our group can just go on there and use the platform to run it. And not only can the software run it for them, they're going to make more money in retirement because now they're getting a cut of every deal through their chapter. So they're like, we didn't have a succession plan. Now we have a plan that could continue to run our business. We don't have to sell it or do anything, continue to run as is. And it gives incentive for all the other members to do more in there, and we'll make more money retiring. So we'll work less and make more money for just putting ourselves on your platform. So there's so many different ways to utilize it. It's great.
It's actually insane. I'm absolutely loving this. This is awesome to hear. When you think of actually closing the deals, for example, are you just going to build like a sales team that can go and just essentially run these demos and get these deals closed if your lead generation is so high through the nature of being referrals?
Yeah, I think right now it's just driving people to kind of have like information sessions on what the platform is. And we'll just drive people to, hey, on Monday at 1 o'clock, we're going to show the demo of the platform for any groups that want to come on here. If you're a networking group that's already up and running, you want to learn a new way to put a new income stream into your already existing web group that you built over the last couple of years. Hey, here's a way to get members to make more money. You make more money. So I think we could get 20, 30 people on a call and show it to them. And then we have different segments we're going after, like chambers of commerce is different animals. So we could say, hey, any chambers want to come on and help your membership come on as a chamber, and we could do those. So I think it's a lot driving a lot of people to those type of things. I don't think the one-on-one sales, it's definitely going to be something when we go after different verticals. We have alumni associations, right? You went to Oxford College or wherever.
Yeah, that's going to be the best, isn't it? That's just going to be high end. Just get the Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard alumni, get them in there.
Right, and they want to deal with people that went to Harvard or whatever group, whatever. I went to University of Dayton, Harvard of Ohio, right? Dayton people want to do business with other Dayton people because they're very passionate about their school. So that's a bigger sale where you're getting a 12,000 person alumni group in. That's going to be a little bit longer sales cycle, but the people that are out there that are already running a networking group are like, wait a second, this
Yeah.
changes the way my networking group runs.
So I just looked at your website, by the way, and it's really informative. I like it. It's really clear. Have you ever thought about even like a self-serve model where you're driving, not traffic because it's a referral scheme, right? So you're driving people to your website, and then it's almost like a VSL, a video sales letter that like nurtures the leads, and then they could just essentially either book a call if you've got this enterprise complex sale, but also just drive the conversion, and they're just like on the platform.
Yeah, that's the roadmap to go along, right? We want to put it out the right way. So we're not putting everyone on a platform right away. We want to do things the right way. So we have our first 15 that we've picked out of the people that want to do it, a mix of different groups, smaller groups, larger groups. We don't want to put something out there. We've used software ourselves for our group that has been horrible, and we put it out there and it just doesn't work. That's the last thing you want to do. So we have 3 tranches, five, and five, October, November, December. We're going to try each of these 5 groups that we've identified and have them signed up, make sure that everything's working correctly, all that. And then, yeah, as we go out to next year with our market strategy, we'll change that website you were looking at to, hey, Laura, you just want to go on and you like the
Yeah.
demo, and what it does, and sign me up, right? So
The
it's
self-serve play is insane. Like it's just if the VSL can nurture the prospect in the correct way, you then laugh. You're making money in your sleep at that point, and it sounds like you already are.
so hopefully, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, hopefully I can sleep all day and just make money. Yeah, it'll be good.
That's the dream. I love that. So just pivoting to you, you say you've been an entrepreneur 7 times. Would love just to hear more about just like your experience in building these companies, any like advice, lessons learned. Yeah, we'd just love to understand a little bit more about you.
Yeah, I just fell into the first business. My father had a printing company. It was a one-man shop,
Ooh.
my dad, and he did great for a long time until the industry changed, right? Kinko's came out, computers came out, and you didn't need a local small printer. But I also needed a sales job, right? So I came home from college, didn't have experience, and no one hired me. So
Wow.
I went to work for my dad for a year and said, "Let me get a year and I'll help you get more business, which would be good for him, and I'll get my experience." And after a year, I was like, "Wait a second, why am I going to go off and work for Laura now and get 10% of whatever business I bring in when I could keep 100% and just sell myself?" I like selling, right? So I convinced my dad to take out a $50,000 loan, and we turned his $250,000 printing business into a $3 million marketing agency in the course of the next few years. And then my dad retired because he didn't know what was going on anymore because he wasn't a marketing guy, he was a printing guy.
And
And
times have changed.
he just was great because he was able to stay home and do that. And then, so I ran that for 20 years. I started a magazine from that. I said, for me, it was like I learned how to do marketing and I was good at it. How do I start other businesses instead of just marketing for clients? Let me start my own businesses. So I started a magazine. We launched that in 2009, sold it in 2015. We launched a couple other businesses and this now the connective and into Nolodex. I was able to take all those skills and launch. But you really, the main thing is you got to make sure you have your model down and you got to make sure you're successful because I saw too many people that I did marketing for that were like, "We're doing good. Let's open up another thing."
Literally.
I had a couple women that started like a mom's website. It was brilliant. It was to get all the moms, the buying power of the moms. Hey, so they started one locally and we built this great website for them. It was really well built. And then right away they were launching one in Dubai. I'm like, "You haven't even finished your model here yet. You're going to Dubai, another country where there's all sorts of regulations." And then it just imploded and was gone within a year. So anything I did, like the magazine I waited for a year or two before we expanded to another town, right? So
Yeah, that's just
again, with everything, just don't rush it. Nothing has to be perfect, but you got to validate the market and what you're doing and the things that are working and your model's working before you start trying to expand too quickly.
it's so key, right? So within one of my first jobs within my career, I was part of a really incredible startup that grew and grew and like the rise of tech. And I was heavily involved in raising a lot of money from MIT and the likes of Stage 2 Capital. But I watched us add more sales talent and add more sales talent and burn more cash and burn more cash and burn more cash and then never look after the customers. And I watched then our net dollar retention just explode and we didn't even know what the customers were wanting by the end of it, and it was just this awful cycle. And like now I've witnessed that. I accelerated my career so much because I'm so passionate about what you say in the sense of having that feedback loop, getting the data and making sure that's correct and just like taking it almost like one step at a time because you can just scale so fast.
Yeah, and you have to make sure that the people that you're serving right now are happy with what you have because if you could sell them, then nothing's working on the back end. You just lose all those people, and eventually you just die because it's not you didn't build the right product.
Sure. I love that. So before we wrap, I'd love to just know what are the big plans? So this is obviously going, and we've gone completely off track here, but I'm just so interested by this product.
Yeah.
But like obviously for the next 3 months, it's the five, and the five, and then maybe self-serve. But like, where are you looking to take this thing as the traction's just been so astronomical?
Yeah, our goal is over the next 3 years or so to get it to about 4,000 communities on the platform. That gets us to a $50 million company. And it's not, we're not a high ticket item. We've actually built out the model where it's affordable. It's $129 a month for the software, right? Because we make our money off of the deals, right? We get a cut of every deal that goes through these systems. So not only are they making commissions on bringing deals on the table, we'll make our commissions as well. We take a small percentage of every deal that goes through, but when you have millions of people doing deals all over all these 4,000 groups, it really starts to exponentially add up. So we made it low priced for someone that's running a group to be like, all right, $1,500, I have an awesome piece of software that not only runs my group, has a directory for people to search and connect to each other and do deals and make money off of it. We take a little bit off of a couple different pieces, and nobody's hurting. These people sell one deal, they got their $1,500 back, right? So we figure we could get a lot of those companies in, and then just exponentially the money is there on these just small increments. But a lot of volume of users, right? Some of these groups have 1,000 people in them, some of them have 12,000 people, right? So that's what the goal is, to get to 4,000, and that'll get us there.
I absolutely love that. And what a way to finish. This has honestly been awesome. So that does wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. I want to thank Joe for sharing his incredible journey and insights with us today. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also find more resources and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their sales through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.